From the use of horse meat to jungle cats turning on their trainers, here are the top 5 scary times The Simpsons predicted the future correctly. Number 5 on this list is stolen cooking grease. So this one's honestly just pretty weird, guys. Cooking grease, something that to 99.9% of all individuals is just gross and should be thrown out pretty much immediately, was actually part of a bit of a thieving scandal. In the 1998 season 10 episode 1, Lord of the Dance, Simpsons episode, Homer decides that a great way to make a quick buck is to steal a bunch of cooking grease and then sell it. This is a cartoon and Homer is like really freaking dumb, so we can suspend our disbelief and buy into this for 22 minutes, but never would I have actually thought this get translated to real life. In the city of New York, there's been an overwhelming rise of grease theft. The New York Post writes, "The theft of used cooking grease from city restaurants has risen in recent years thanks to the demand for yellow grease, a valuable ingredient in biodiesel," say eatery owners and licensed oil collectors. The thieves troll the streets in unmarked vans and swipe the oil going for $1 a gallon on the streets from unsuspecting restaurant workers. The oil can be converted into yellow grease, a commodity used to make biodiesel. The city's Business Integrity Commission records show that about 30 licensed grease haulers who pay restaurants to collect the grease to refineries. Haulers pay around $2 a gallon to lug the lard from the kitchens to turn it into diesel fuel, animal feed, or even jet fuel. In 2011, city haulers collected 8.3 million gallons of yellow grease from the 17,000 city restaurants. Like, is this not the most ridiculous thing you guys have ever heard? People going around in vans and vacuuming up gallons upon gallons of cooking grease to then turn into actual jet fuel. Like, this sounds like something straight out of a cartoon, and it actually was. Number 4 on this list is rigged voting. This one is sadly way too close to real life, guys. In 2008, The Simpsons released an episode where it had Homer voting for the next American president. His two options were Barack Obama and John McClane, who were the two actual options in real life going for presidency at the time. In the clip, Homer very clearly clicks to vote for Obama, but the machine that he's using turns his vote into a vote for John. A funny gag at the time that pokes fun at the legitimacy of elections and voting, but not so funny when it actually happened in real life 4 years later. Fast forward to the next election. Now it's between Obama and Mitt Romney for the American presidency. This time the voting machine gag actually happens though. A voting machine in Pennsylvania had to be removed because it kept changing any votes for Obama to Romney. There was a full-on video that surfaced on the internet of somebody trying to vote for Obama but just actually couldn't because of the machine. This was easily fixed and didn't cause too much tampering in the actual election, but then fast forward again 4 more years. Remember the scandal about the potential Russian involvement in the election? About how they rigged the vote and gave Donald Trump an unfair advantage? Now that's never actually been 100% confirmed, but if it did actually happen, then one could argue that The Simpsons inadvertently predicted that too. It's not quite the same as a busted voting machine, but if it did actually happen, then it definitely would have been tampering with the election, which was the whole thing The Simpsons were making fun of in the first place. Hopefully from here on out we can just have some solid, non-messy elections and keep this Simpsons thing as it was intended to be, just a funny joke. Number 3 on this list is the secret ingredient. Now when I say the secret ingredient, I'm not talking about SpongeBob and a Krabby Patty or something zany like that. I'm talking about horse meat. Yeah, that's right guys. In the season 5 episode 19 Simpsons called Sweet Seymour Skinner's Bad Song, we see the lunch lady, Doris, making some lunch for all the students of Springfield Elementary. As she cooks up her disgusting concoction, she reaches into a large vat that has the words assorted horse parts, now with more balls written on it, assumingly using this as her secret ingredient in whatever disgusting food she's cooking up for the kids. Well, this sick joke didn't just stay as a cartoon and sadly came to real life in 2013. The BBC writes, 4 beef products sold by Birdseye, Taco Bell, and catering supplier Brakes have been found to contain horse DNA, the Food Standards Agency says. This is the 3rd wave of test results received by the FSA, which has now received a total of 5,430 test results. Meanwhile, new tests conducted on beef retail products revealed no new cases of horse meat adulteration, the British Retail Consortium has said. This latest round of tests saw 1,797 products being examined. Taco Bell, guys. This is a big fast food company company that got caught with its hands in the horse meat jar. Now granted, it's not necessarily their fault. They buy their meat from a big meat supplier, and what's in it would have come from that supplier of meat. But this is just so scary because it makes you wonder, what's in that burger that I just got from McDonald's? Sure, they tell me that it's 100% Canadian beef, but how do they know? Taco Bell had no idea what they were selling and then marketed it as something that it wasn't, so why can't these other places do it too? Honestly, really sad and scary that The Simpsons got this one right. Hopefully that was the one and only time something like this ever happens. Number 2 on this list is an Ebola outbreak. Ebola is a very serious disease and something that shouldn't be taken lightly. This is pretty much common knowledge now, but back when The Simpsons talked about it, it wasn't nearly as well known. The 3rd episode of the 9th season, called Lisa's Sacks, was released in 1997 and has The Simpsons predicting an Ebola outbreak. In that episode, Marge tells Bart, who isn't feeling well, that he should read a book called Curious George and the Ebola virus. This has led people to believe The Simpsons actually predicted the outbreak. Now, just having a book called that isn't necessarily a prediction, but I do want to stress that it really wasn't talked about that much back then. Back in the 90s, it wasn't big news and not a ton of people knew about it. That's why when from 2013 to 2016 there was a major Ebola outbreak in Africa, people looked to The Simpsons as knowing something that we didn't. This wasn't just a small thing either, it was a full-on epidemic for several years that ravaged Western Africa, causing major loss of life and some serious socio-economic disruptions. Let's hope that they don't make any other epidemic predictions soon, because I think I speak for everyone when I say that we're pretty much done with that. Number 1 on this list is the Siegfried and Roy tiger attack. According to Google, Siegfried and Roy were a duo of German-American magicians and entertainers best known for their appearances with white lions and white tigers. It was composed of Siegfried Fischbacher and Roy Horn. This was one of the most successful acts in the world for quite a while and garnered a massive audience worldwide. Sadly, there was a horrible tragedy that happened in 2003 during a show. Wikipedia writes, during a show at the Mirage on Horn's birthday on October 3rd, 2003, a 7-year-old white tiger named Manticore attacked Horn. As part of the act, but veering off script, Horn held his microphone to Manticore's mouth and told him to say hello to the audience. Manticore responded by biting Horn's sleeve. Horn swatted the tiger and barked "release," while standby trainers unsuccessfully attempted to distract the cat with cubes of meat. Possibly incited by Horn's retreat, the tiger leapt at Horn, swinging at his legs and knocking him off of his feet. As trainers rushed in from offstage to assist, Manticore bit into Horn's neck and dragged him off stage. Trainers got the tiger to release Horn by spraying him with CO2 fire extinguisher canisters, the last resort available. The attack severed Horn's spine, resulting in massive blood loss, and severely injured other parts of his body, permanently impairing his motor and verbal abilities. He also had a stroke either before or after Manticore dragged him off stage. This incident, as scary as it was actually predicted by The Simpsons though in season 5, episode 10. In that Simpsons episode, both of the entertainers are viciously attacked by their tiger during one of their acts. This episode aired in 1993, which was 10 years prior to the tragic incident that happened in real life. I guess it wasn't that far off of a stretch to imagine a show with a bunch of large jungle cats potentially going wrong, but it still is really sad that they got this one right. But there you have it, guys. That is our list of the top 5 scary times The Simpsons predicted the future correctly. Please let me know in the comments down below what you thought about this list and some other scary predictions that you've seen them make. Also, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I've been your host, Nicholas Playlog, and I'll catch you next time.